hey.
Hey.
Hey, you been here this whole time?
Whole time.
You ever heard of a dojo?
What's a dojo?
Buckle up. How much time do you have?
Oh my God, we just got our intro.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
So we just edit it out for the rest of the
Yes.
Yeah. You don't edit anything
Yes.
else.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Objection here, but it sounds like a company would want to then engage, would want to purchase this thing instead of employing it.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I'm going to get 5 or 6 dojos in a year out of a dojo coach,
Mm-hmm.
am I better off finding someone who can sell me those 5 or 6 a year, or hiring the person and then only getting the 5 or 6 a year?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so there's this whole notion of scaling the dojo, and it's hyper localized. And like you said, it's hyper white glove and like this VIP treatment, right? You're getting all of a coach, full-time focus for 6 weeks. Like I used to be a consultant and sell dojos, and it is kind of a hard sell. Am I going to spend that much money on a team? There's a few things to look at it. You can invest it a smart way and sort of maybe invest it on an enablement team, cloud team, a team full of SREs, get them better because that's going to, pay dividends, right?
Train the trainer.
Train the trainer, exactly. And you can hire more coaches. You can do staff augmentation. You can bring in full-timers and develop them and have them coach as well. There's different ways to look at it. But one thing I wouldn't do is shorten a dojo. I just would not. I mean, you just don't have enough time to build the rapport, to build the momentum. I would
Lengthen
be really. What's that?
Would you lengthen it?
I have, yeah. The longest I've gone is 12 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
12
Okay.
weeks. We were just on a rhythm, and they're
Wow.
like, "Yeah, I want to keep doing it." We were
So
able
they're
to do
delivering
it. Absolutely.
in this model. Wow.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
So, so that one I kind of hold to just because the quality, right? You start really eroding that.
It would also depend upon the size of the organization that's committing to this, style of continuous improvement, right? Like,
Right.
if you have 50 people in the organization, if you have 150 people, it's a much different situation than if you have thousands of people that you could create a dojo that is appropriately sized so that you can cycle people through.
Absolutely. Yeah. To that point, you got to be choosy about the teams and the areas that you want to have that hands-on it's almost like your most premium form of learning that you offer, right?
Yeah.
So you really got to make that count. So that is something to think about if you're not in the position to have so many coaches and potential to scale it.
Yeah.
But something, if I had a time machine and could go back, what I would have done on that the last dojo engagement I did was also build in additional time afterwards for me to come back in and touch base and work with the teams, because my engagement was 6 weeks, and was once the dojo was over, I was done and I was out of there. And just from keeping up with, like the product owners and stuff like that over time, things started to fall apart.
Yeah.
Afterwards, because they weren't able to continue a lot of the practices. And I wish I had been able to be there a little bit, like you talked about, continuing to work with the teams, up to 90 days afterwards, just to be able to check in to help reinforce practices. And I wish I had been able to do that.
Yeah, even if it's like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, just to
Right.
kind of, hey, how you doing? Because the hardest thing about the dojo, and I know this sounds cheesy, is leaving it. It's your team. It becomes like your baby.
It does.
It
becomes because you're spending that much time with this group of people. They're almost like family members.
Yeah.
You get really weirdly attached to them because you're spending this much. I've never had such a high touch engagement before.
Right.
Where I'm spending this much time on a constant basis with one team.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
I want to give you an opportunity to just dispose of the gems of wisdom that we haven't been able to touch on.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
there's
there's one related to scaling I definitely want to hit on.
Yeah.
Okay. So something that's been important to me, I'd say over the last few years, is empowering agile coaches, tech coaches, really any coaches, in the business space that you can think of, to embrace dojo style coaching. So you don't have to be this, dojo coach wizard. We're not in an ivory tower, right? Anyone can employ hands-on coaching. So it's something I've been really passionate about. And in terms of scaling this impact and this high touch level of coaching, I mean, with the right training and support, you can really make any coach in your organization equipped to make learning stick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was like the perfect fade out moment.
Yeah.